or 30% of total waking lifespan on this place. Whatever it is, I guarantee you the employees feel. In the last place, the shareholders. They do not really do anything except contribute capital and hold the stock. Of course, capital is important, but they are not spending 8 hours a day here. They are not the reason the business exists, and in fact, they might be even live in a totally different country. All right. For large publicly listed companies, the shareholder have one more unique difference from the other three stakeholder: liquidity. This difference is critical. Liquidity describes how easy it is to buy and sell an asset. A dollar bill is liquid. Bitcoin is liquid. A house, Bitcoin is liquid. Okay, yeah, you can easily sell Bitcoin, I guess. Houses relatively stock is large. Publicly listed companies is also liquid. A shareholder can buy a stock one day and sell it the next. As a result, the relationship is non-committal and opportunity for short-term thinking. There are many things a company could do which would benefit shareholders for short term, while harming the other three stakeholders long term, while a shareholder can simply dump their position and leave. The mess created is for the employees, the customers, community to clean up. New York or Nasdaq get liquidated and bail. Now it's a mixed conception that stocks companies must solely pay-per-click maximize short-term shareholder value. However, this is how it often plays out due to fuck-up ship in the public markets, like annoying activist hedge funds or executive compensation tied to stock price. It's true that employees can be shareholders, and that's it. Can be shareholders, and that's usually a good thing. But few public companies are. Similarly, if you want to invest in US securities, you at some point need US dollars. If you want to get a piece of the sweet NVIDIA action, you need dollars. People want to buy American stocks. American companies perform well. They are innovative. They are not too heavily regulated. It's a business-friendly environment. Shareholder value comes first. The numbers go up. Remember the token founder from Ireland, the Asian arrangement? Suppose you are a country in the situation above with a valuable currency. Not only is your currency in demand and valuable, you are the issuing and minting authority for that token. Similar to the token founder, you can print valuable money and pay for things with it. And speaking of being a founder, let's talk about that. So, startup blues. Based on what you have said so far, I will discuss some the problems I see with many startups today. Okay, I was telling that should be the last chapter. Based on what we have said so far, okay, startup culture. So much of the problems stem from misalignment between shareholders and the others stakeholders, employees, etc. A lot of things come from the fundamentals of the venture capital. VCs very annoying. Very annoying. Okay, we are back. The strategy is to identify stuff that will become huge and buy it while it's still small and really cheap. Like trading shitcoin, it's about finding what's going to the moon and get it early. In typical VC fund, a small handful of the investment will comprise the entire returns of the fund, with all the other investment being zeros. The distribution is very power law. This means we are not looking for 1x or 2x or 3x outcomes. This may even be seen as a failure mode where only interest in 20x, 50x, 100x, etc. outcomes. It's because anything less will be insufficient to make up for all the bad investments that get right down to zero, right? For the same reason, it only makes sense for VCs to invest in certain types of companies. Have you heard? They want you to deliver a 100x, or how we invest in category defining companies. At least in the security category defining means a shiny new checkbox in the compliance cyber insurance questionnaire. In other words, a new kind of product that people must purchase. Okay, okay. The market is incentivized to deliver a product that meets a minimal bar to meet the checkbox while being useless. I invite you to think about your favorite middleware or EDR vendor here. For passionate security founders considering raising venture, remember that this what is your success is being benchmarked against. We partner with founders building category defining company in the early stages. It's due to the thirst for thirst city for the 100x that there are painful dynamics. That's very cool, right? Let's keep interrupting. So because of FOMO or fear of missing out, they need to go in that strategy. Right? So a fledgling startup may have founders that really like, but the current business might be unscalable. Bad VC will push founders toward strategies, bets, models that have 1% chance of working, but pay out 200 if they do. In the process, they destroy a good business, one which has earned the trust of dutiful employees and loyal customers, all for the lottery ticket to be the unicorn. They will throw 100 darts on the dartboard and maybe 5 will land, but what is like to be the darts? You might have a good expected value, but all of that EV, I think it's EV, it's EV, it's about balance, right? Uh, no, it's not. It's not. What is EV here? Expected value. But all of that expected value is from spikes super far away from their origin. It is pleasant betting everything on this distribution. VC wants founders to be cool leaders. Have you have got this line? We invest in the great storytellers, like what we saw with higher valuation. Higher valuations go markup equal fees. Using narrative as fuel for the fire. Storytelling means pump the token, and the job of the CEO is to 1. Be the hype man and to rise. 2. Cash, and 3. Eyeballs. For this reason, Sun Altman, yeah, I was thinking Sun Altman right now. Sun Altman and Alan are the fine CEOs, regardless of the other factors, because they are great on all three. Much to the detriment of founders and their employees, Fiske investors expect founders to be this legendary hype man. This requires a religiosity of belief that is borderline disillusional. Have you ever tried to convince one Silicon Valley IC type founder CEO that they are wrong? They will never listen to you because they have been socialized to be this way. It is what is expected of them, and it's easy to fall into this trap without even becoming aware of that. But if you think about it, does make sense that to be a business owner, you need to be a religious leader? Of course not. All these all these reasons are why so many startups founders are young. They have little to lose, so gambling it's okay. Being cool and perhaps not the way they have wanted, relying instead on their personal values. The true irony is that the latter is what creates value. Enduring company culture is not the made up mad lib steered company culture notion page shit that so many startups have. Of course, good VCs are self aware of all the issues and strive to prevent them, but the overall problems remains. One last one last externality is for come to our booth. You can be a hacker. Please view our AI generated graphics of figures clad in dark hoods stationed behind laptops. Here I would use the pensive emoji to describe my feeling about the appropriation of hacker culture, but frack it's 7-bit ASCII, so please have it is okay. Let me figure out what it is. I think it'll be mid fingers. Oh no, just said pensive face. Pensive face. I don't know what is this. My feeling about the appropriation hacker culture, but okay, that's the same, right? Or that one, or that one. Three versions. Takeaways. The point is, all of this made me feel very small and powerless after I realized the sheer size of the problem I was staring at. Nowadays, to me, it's about creating good jobs for my friends, helping our customer, and take care of the community. Importantly, I realized that is still making a bigger positive impact than what I could have done alone just as individual hacker or engineer. To me, business or economic machines that can create positive or negative impact is in a consistent, self-sustainable way. There are many people who and math at month one, but you will not be able to fix the bigger issues by yourself. The systems that run the world are much bigger than what we can break on our laptops and lab benches. But like this familiar system, if you want to make things for the better, we have to first understand these systems. Knowledge is part step towards change. If you do not like the system as it is, then it's your duty to help fix it. Do not shallow. Um, I want to see a world where thoughtful hackers learn this system and teach it other about them. That generation of hackers will wield. I don't know how to spell that one. Oh, it's wield. Wield that apparatus, not the other way around. Creating hackers should not think for themselves as, oh, I am this little guy fighting big corporation or whatever. This is law agency behavior. Instead, become the corporation and run it the way you think it should be run. Keep it held so no one can fuck it up. Closely train up successors so in your absence you'll be highly principled way that's aligned with your values and morals. Giving employees never compromise your values or integrity. Stay laser focused on cash flow and sustainability, as this grants you the freedom to do things right. Hackers should not be afraid to touch the capital markets. Many hackers assume, oh, that fundraise stuff is for charismatic business type. I'd agree. It's probably better for the world if good, truthful hackers raise capital. Giving them leverage to change the world is better than giving that leverage for some psycho founder thinking the cool-eyed. I deeply respect many of the authors in Frac 71, and I would trust them to do a better job taking care of things than than a amorphous amalgam of angry and greedy shareholders. For all things that don't need capital, do not raise, stay bootstrapped for as long as possible. Remember that valuation it's a vanity metric. Moxie Marlin Spikey wrote on this blog that we are often guilty of always trying to quantify success. But what is success? You can quantify net worth, but you can you quantify the good you have brought to other lives? For personal goals, think long term. People tend to overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 10. Do not start a company thinking you can get your hands clean of it in 2 or 3 years. If you do a good job, you will be stuck with it for 5 or 10 years. Therefore, do not start a company until you are sure that's what you want to do with your life, or at least your 20s, 30s, depending on where you start. A common lament among founders, even successful ones, is sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my 20s. There is an easy catch 22 here. You might not know what you really want until you do the company, but once you do the company, you won't really be able to get out of this. Be aware of that. Creating value. This is one of these meaningless phrase that I dislike. Value as what you define it to be. Remember to work on things that you have terms. What is terms? It's total what? Market value? This is part of why people hate AI art. But it's often artistically bankrupt. Some people to use generated tools is act original in artistic way, but this is the exception, not the norm. Founders versus investors. Here is my advice. Ignore any pressure from investor to make companies scalable or whatever. Make sure your investors have no ability to fire you or your co-founders. Make sure you and co-founder are always solid and trust with others more than investors. You and your co-founders need to be blood brothers or sisters, whatever. I think it's whatever, right? If an investor is trying, if you are patient, you can make a very successful company, even if it is not that scalable. High quality investor will bet on founders and are committed. Only bad ones will push for this kind of shit. I'm going to avoid giving more generic startup advice here. Go read Paul Graham's essays. Unless everyone signed up for that terrifying emotional roller coaster from the start. They say that hacker is it's a dying identity co-opted by annoying VC-backed cybersecurity companies that culturally appropriate the identity. The term is getting more polluted and diluted by the day. Meanwhile, computers are getting more secure and they are rewriting everything in Rust with pointer as capability machines in memory tagging. It is over? I disagree. As long as the hacker ethos is alive, regardless of any particular scenes, the identity will always exist. However, now it's a crucial moment as a diaspora of the hackers, young and old, venture out in the world. Calling all hackers, never forget who you are, who you will become, and the mark you sting me. never mind. Finally, a big thank you to the frac staff making this all possible. Reference Financial Institute Glossary for Hackers, not serious for jokes. AB. Oh, investment bank. Basically collect fat fees to do up device on merge acquisition and other transactions, help match buyer equity. They are like CIA for your CIA for your deal. Private equity, basically buy not overly serious poorly. When companies fire the management, then run it professionally, making generally shit for customer. Okay, hedge fund, trade out price inefficiency. Market maker, basically the same thing. VC, basically terms total addressable market. Here's memory, I don't know why. Basically how much money a given idea can make. NFA, not financial advice. And EOF is end of file. Nice. Okay, that was almost 2 hours reading the frac. By the way, frac came from phone hacker. That was the first hackers before hackers exist. So it was called frac. I don't know how that works, but I think it's a lot of posts. And that one is very cool. Was very cool. I don't know if you're gonna see some other good posts here. They call issues. Okay. 40 years. Okay, it's a kind of journal documents. Nice. Okay, that's for another day. I think I have the Renaissance. Okay, let's try see some comments about that here to finish. I don't know if I go like that, they're gonna show something. I don't know. Yeah, is that one? I don't know, kind of related, but classic hacker is safe for dismissing the reference above this. I probably want to see notes. January 3rd. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna post. I want people leave notes in reference in case it helps someone with their travels. You are the humble web standard former. I don't know what's the original. Okay, let's see that one. Oh, that's in Markdown. Cool. Been through really all. It's really feel like archaeological at this point. Oh, that's something else stuff. Okay. CTS, right? Yeah, CTS here. Okay, so he has channel. They have a Discord too. Let's see the Discord too. Reversing flare or shoulder, reverse engineer. Okay, they have some challenge. And the most important advice for young hackers. Cool. Sudo vulnerability explained. Cool. So makes it up. Remote. I think it's remote command name. Code exploit, right? RCE. CSGO hack. Talk. DevCon. Okay. And let up ask art. All right. One ear, one ear, one ear. Okay, Google CTF. Fraud. Kernel hack. Sailor Moon, I think it's Sailor Moon, right? And let's see. Oh, my eyes. F10 fan club. Ephemera. All right. So that's it for today. Sorry for the bad internet. I'm gonna ask for